William Carter adjusted his tie for the fifth time as the shuttle approached the massive alien vessel. Through the viewport, the diplomatic craft looked like a giant silver snowflake, beautiful but strange. After 20 years in international diplomacy, nothing had prepared him for representing all of humanity. 2 minutes to docking, said the pilot. Carter nodded and looked at his team. Dr. Nancy Wells, Earth's leading xenobiologist, General Paul Martinez, military advisor, and Sam Kim, language specialist. Their faces showed the same mix of wonder and worry he felt. "Remember," Carter said, "we're making history today." The shuttle shuddered as magnetic clamps locked them in place. A soft hiss indicated the airlocks had connected. "Atmosphere reading normal," said the shuttle computer. "Pressure stable." The door slid open to reveal 3 aliens waiting in the docking bay. The tallest species, with blue-gray skin and 4 arms, stepped forward. "Welcome aboard the Celestial Harmony," it said in perfect English. "I am Vrex, High Chancellor of the Axorian Dominion and representative of the Galactic Conclave. We are pleased Earth has accepted our invitation." Carter stepped forward and bowed slightly. "Thank you for extending the hand of friendship across the stars, Chancellor. We come with hopes of peaceful relations." The aliens led them through corridors that seemed to shift and change as they walked. The walls glowed with soft light, and strange music floated through the air. After passing through several security checkpoints, they entered a large circular room with a table made of something that looked like glass, but flowed like water. "Please be seated," said Vrex, gesturing with his upper arms while his lower ones adjusted what appeared to be a translator device. For the first hour, the meeting went well. The aliens spoke of cultural exchange, shared scientific knowledge, and peaceful coexistence. Carter felt a growing sense of hope until Vrex displayed a holographic document. "This is the standard integration protocol," Vrex explained. "All new civilizations sign this before joining the Conclave. It outlines your rights and responsibilities as a protected developing world." Carter's translator highlighted concerning phrases: resource allocation quotas, technological development restrictions, and approved governance models. "Excuse me," Carter interrupted, "but this reads like Earth would surrender its sovereignty." Vrex's 4 eyes blinked in sequence. All young species require guidance. The Conclave has integrated over 200 civilizations this way. General Martinez leaned forward. "And if we choose not to sign?" The room temperature seemed to drop. Vrex's skin darkened slightly. "No species has ever declined. It would be unfortunate for Earth to be the first." During a break, Carter's team gathered in their assigned quarters. "Did you see Section 12? Dr. Wells said, her voice low. "They want unrestricted access to Earth's biosphere." Kim nodded. "And their definition of cultural preservation means we can't develop technologies that compete with theirs." Carter noticed a tiny movement in the corner of the ceiling. He pulled out a small device and swept the room, finding 6 different monitoring bugs. "They're watching us," he whispered, showing the scanner to his team. When they returned to the negotiation room, Vrex was smiling. "Have you considered our generous offer?" Carter stood tall. "We have. Earth thanks the Conclave for its proposal, but we must decline these terms." The alien's smile vanished. All 4 Axorian eyes widened in shock. "Perhaps you misunderstand," Vrex said slowly. "This is not a negotiation. These are the standard terms for all species." "Then they are standard terms we cannot accept," Carter replied firmly. "Humanity will not trade its freedom for protection we haven't asked for." As they walked back to their shuttle, the silence was deafening. No species had ever rejected the Conclave's terms before. Carter knew they had just changed humanity's future forever, but whether for better or worse remained to be seen. Admiral Susan Miller stood on the bridge of the hidden orbital station Echo 7, watching Earth turn slowly below. 6 months ago, nobody knew aliens existed. Now, humanity's future hung in the balance. "Status report," she ordered. Commander Rick Evans looked up from his console. All defense platforms are online. The lunar base is at full readiness. Our stealth satellites are tracking 23 alien vessels at the edge of our solar system. Miller nodded. When scientists first detected alien signals 3 years ago, most world leaders had dismissed the military's concerns. But a small group, led by Miller, had quietly prepared. Now those preparations might save humanity. "Admiral," said a voice behind her, "you need to see this." Alan Blackwood, top military intelligence officer, held a datapad. His normally calm face showed worry. "We've decoded more of their transmissions," he said. "The Conclave is planning to send a peacekeeping fleet. They expect us to surrender when we see their numbers." Miller took the pad and studied it. "They don't know about our defenses." "No, their scans can't penetrate our cloaking technology. But even with everything we've built, we're outnumbered 10 to 1. Miller handed back the pad. "Numbers aren't everything. Tell me about their tactics." "They rely on overwhelming force. No subtlety. They haven't faced real resistance in centuries." A soft beep interrupted them. On the main screen, William Carter's face appeared. "Admiral," he said, his voice tired, "we just received their ultimatum. The Conclave demands Earth's submission within 48 hours, or they'll demonstrate their power." "Understood. How soon can you reach Echo 7? "My shuttle leaves in 20 minutes. The screen went dark. Miller turned to her crew. "Send the code to all stations. Operation Shield Wall begins now." Across Earth, hidden preparations sprang to life. In underground bases, pilots rushed to experimental spacecraft. Scientists worked frantically to finish weapons based on captured alien technology. And in orbit, cloaked satellites moved into attack positions. At the United Nations Emergency Council, world leaders gathered to hear the latest news. President Helen Garcia addressed the room. "For the first time in human history, every nation stands together against an external threat. Today, we are not Americans, Russians, Chinese, or Europeans. We are Earthlings." The room erupted in applause. In her laboratory beneath the Rocky Mountains, Dr. Lisa Warren watched the speech on a small screen while her team worked around her. Their breakthrough in adapting alien power systems had come just in time. "Dr. Warren," called one of her assistants, "the field tests are complete. The shields work." Warren allowed herself a small smile. 6 months ago, such technology had seemed impossible. Now it might give humanity a fighting chance. High Chancellor Vrex paced the command deck of his flagship, all 4 arms clasped behind his back. "These humans are irritating," he said to his second-in-command. 212 species have joined the Conclave. All understood the futility of resistance. Sub-Chancellor Mock bowed slightly. "Perhaps we should try diplomacy again. Some council members have expressed concern about using force." Vrex turned sharply. "Weakness. The council grows soft. If we allow one species to defy us, others might follow. No, we must make an example of Earth." He gestured to the tactical display. "Move the fleet into position. When our deadline expires, target their largest military installations. A single demonstration should be enough." Unknown to Vrex, 3 cloaked human satellites recorded every word and transmitted the conversation back to Echo 7. In the conference room of Echo 7, William Carter met with Admiral Miller and her command staff. "So now we know their plans," Carter said after hearing the intercepted transmission. Miller nodded. "And they still don't know ours." Alan Blackwood brought up a holographic display of Earth's defenses. "We've identified their command ships. If we take those out first, it will disrupt their chain of command." Carter studied the display. "They expect us to beg for mercy. Instead, they're going to get the surprise of their lives." "All units are in position," reported Commander Evans. "Waiting for your order, Admiral." Miller looked around the room at the faces of Earth's defenders. "We have 24 hours until their deadline. Let's make them count." The Conclave fleet appeared in Earth's orbit exactly when their ultimatum expired. 50 massive warships materialized, their hulls gleaming in the sunlight. On Earth, millions looked up at the night sky and saw new stars appear, stars that meant danger. Captain Frank Delgado sat in the command chair of the stealth vessel Defiance hidden among the debris of an old satellite field. His crew worked silently, tension filling the air. "All systems dark," whispered Lieutenant Samantha Reed at Tactical. "They don't see us." Through the view screen, Delgado watched the alien ships move into attack formation. The largest vessel, nearly a mile long, positioned itself above North America. "That's their command ship," Delgado said. "High Chancellor Vrex is aboard." His communications officer looked up. "Sir, they're broadcasting." On screens across Earth, Vrex's face appeared. His blue-gray skin seemed to pulse with anger. "People of Earth," he said, "your time has ended. Surrender now or face the consequences of your defiance." Admiral Miller's voice came through Delgado's earpiece. "All ships, execute Operation Shield Wall. Now." Delgado nodded to his crew. "You heard the Admiral. Let's show them humans don't surrender easily." On the Axorian command ship, Vrex waited for Earth's response. He expected panic, perhaps begging. What he got instead was silence. "No response, High Chancellor," reported his communications officer. "Begin the demonstration," Vrex ordered. "Target their military base in this region they call Nevada." Weapons officers activated the main cannon, a weapon that could level mountains. Energy built up, ready to deliver destruction. Firing in 3, 2. The ship suddenly rocked violently. Warning alarms blared. "What was that?" Vrex demanded. "We're under attack," shouted his second-in-command. "Multiple small vessels." They were cloaked. The Defiance shot past the command ship, its newly developed weapons leaving a gaping hole in the alien vessel's weapon systems. Around Earth, 30 other human ships revealed themselves, targeting the Conclave fleet with precision strikes. In her engineering bay, Olivia Chen monitored the experimental engine she had helped design. "Captain," she reported to Delgado, "the modified drives are working perfectly. We're moving faster than their targeting systems can track." Delgado grinned. "Good work. Prepare for another pass." The Defiance swung around, joining 2 other human vessels in a coordinated attack pattern. They darted between larger Conclave ships, forcing the aliens to hold fire for fear of hitting their own vessels. On Echo 7, Admiral Miller watched the battle unfold on the tactical display. Human ships moved like schools of fish, using formations no alien commander had seen before. "Their ships are bigger and stronger," she told William Carter, who stood beside her. "But ours are faster and more agile." Carter nodded, and they didn't expect any resistance at all. "Sir," called Commander Evans, "the asteroid defense system is ready." Miller smiled grimly. "Activated." Throughout the solar system, humans had placed engines on hundreds of asteroids. Now these massive rocks moved on carefully calculated paths, not to hit the alien ships directly, but to create a complex field of moving obstacles. The human vessels, trained for these conditions, navigated easily. The Conclave ships found themselves boxed in, unable to maneuver effectively. "This is impossible," Vrex shouted as another explosion rocked his ship. "These primitives should have no defense technology." Sub-Chancellor Malk studied the tactical display with growing concern. "They're not fighting like any species we've encountered. They're using the asteroids, hiding in debris fields, attacking in patterns we can't predict." 5 of our support vessels are disabled, reported the tactical officer. "Their weapons are specifically targeting our engines and weapon systems." Vrex slammed all 4 fists on his command console. "Send word to the Conclave. Tell them." Another blast cut off his words as the ship's main communications array exploded. News of the battle spread quickly through subspace communications. Across the galaxy, Conclave species watched in shock as the supposedly primitive humans not only defended themselves but pushed back against the mighty Conclave fleet. By the time Earth's sun rose the next day, 3 conclave ships had been disabled, and the rest had pulled back to regroup. Not a single human city had been damaged. In the conference room of Echo 7, Earth's military leaders planned their next move. This wasn't just a defensive victory. It was the beginning of humanity's emergence onto the galactic stage. 3 weeks after Earth's unexpected victory, Daniel Rivera floated in a small diplomatic shuttle near Jupiter's orbit. As Earth's new contact specialist, he had never imagined his first assignment would be a secret meeting with alien rebels. "They're approaching," said his pilot, Joanne Lewis. "One vessel, minimal weapons." Rivera nodded, trying to calm his nerves. "Remember, no sudden movements. The Narani are peaceful but extremely cautious." The alien ship that appeared was unlike the aggressive Exorian vessels. It resembled a silver leaf, thin and graceful. It matched speed with the human shuttle, and a soft blue light connected the 2 crafts. "Translation systems ready," Lewis reported. A hologram appeared in the center of their cabin, a tall, slender being with iridescent skin and large, deep eyes. "Greetings, humans," the being said. "I am Celerin of the Narani. We have much to discuss and little time." Rivera bowed slightly. "Thank you for taking this risk, Celerin. We understand meeting with us could be dangerous for you." "The conclave is changing," Celerin replied. "Your resistance has started something unexpected." On the conclave central station, High Chancellor Vrex faced an angry council. Representatives from 15 species sat in the circular chamber, many speaking at once. "The humans should have been left alone," shouted the representative from Torlek, a planet known for its scholars. "They posed no threat to us." "Our peacekeeping fleet was humiliated," added another council member. "This damages our standing with all member worlds." Vrex raised all 4 arms for silence. "This temporary setback will be corrected. We have called for reinforcements." The Narani representative stood. "Why?" "To destroy a civilization that only wishes independence. Perhaps it is time to reconsider our approach to new species." Vrex's skin darkened with anger. "Do not test me, Narani. Your species joined the conclave willingly, but others remember when you required persuasion." The chamber grew quiet at the thinly veiled threat. Back on Echo 7, Rivera reported to Admiral Miller and William Carter about his meeting with the Narani. 5 species have secretly contacted the Narani, he explained. All wish to establish relations with Earth outside conclave control. Carter studied the star map showing the locations of these potential allies. "Why take such a risk?" "Because we've shown the conclave can be opposed," Rivera said. "Celerin gave me access to historical records. The Exorians have been using the same playbook for centuries, offering protection, then slowly taking control of each new civilization." Miller frowned. "So we're not the first to be threatened, just the first to successfully fight back." "Exactly. And Celerin says more conclave reinforcements are coming. We have maybe 2 months before they arrive." Carter nodded thoughtfully. "Then we need to build our alliance quickly." In a secure laboratory on Mars base, Dr. Lisa Warren worked with 3 Narani scientists. Despite their different biology, they had quickly developed a common scientific language. "Your power systems are incredible," Dr. Warren said, examining the alien technology. "But your weapons technology seems limited." The lead Narani scientist, Terrell, made a gesture that humans had learned was equivalent to a sad smile. "The Exorians control weapons development throughout conclave space. They ensure no species can challenge them militarily. Your independent development is what makes Earth unique and dangerous to them." Warren nodded. "Then let's combine our knowledge. Your power systems with our weapon innovations could create something the conclave has never seen." Over the next weeks, secret diplomatic channels opened between Earth and several conclave species. Small delegations arrived under cover of asteroid mining operations or scientific missions. On a secure channel, Rivera spoke with representatives from 5 different worlds, each taking an enormous risk by contacting Earth. "The Exorians have dominated the Conclave for too long," said the reptilian Skith representative. "Your successful defense has inspired many who previously feared to speak out. We bring technology," added the crystalline Lumen ambassador, "in exchange for protection when the conflict escalates." Rivera looked at each alien face on his screen. "Earth stands with you. Together, we can create a true galactic community based on equality, not domination." As the meeting ended, Earth's position in the galaxy had fundamentally changed. No longer just fighting for survival, humans had become the center of a growing rebellion against Conclave control. Dr. Michelle Garcia sat in her observation room on Echo 7, studying recordings of Conclave species interactions. As Earth's leading genopsychologist, she had spent months analyzing alien behavior patterns. "Play the Exorian Council meeting again," she told her assistant. On screen, High Chancellor Vrex addressed his commanders, all four arms moving in precise patterns. Dr. Garcia noted every gesture, every pause. "They never improvise," she said, making notes. "Every meeting follows the same structure. Every response follows protocol." Her assistant, Ben Powell, looked up from his datapad. "Is that significant?" "Absolutely. The Exorians evolved on a world with extreme environmental stability. They never needed to adapt quickly." She pointed to another screen showing human military exercises. "Compare that to us. Our entire history is adaptation to changing threats." Powell nodded slowly. "So we're unpredictable to them. More than that, we're incomprehensible. They can't imagine a species that doesn't follow established patterns." Garcia smiled. "And that's our greatest advantage." In the manufacturing center beneath the Pacific Ocean, production lines ran day and night. What had once built cars and consumer electronics now created spacecraft components and weapon systems. Chief Engineer Olivia Chen walked through the massive facility with Admiral Miller, showing her the latest innovations. "We've incorporated Narani power systems into our fighter designs," Chen explained, pointing to a sleek craft being assembled. "They're twice as fast as our original models and 3 times more energy efficient." Miller nodded approvingly. "How many can we produce in a month?" 50, and the number is increasing. Our manufacturing capabilities have surprised even our alien allies." The Lumen representative said it would take their factories 5 years to produce what we can make in 6 months. "The Conclave has never faced an industrial power like Earth," Miller said. "They conquer worlds one at a time, slowly. They don't know how to handle our production speed." Chen smiled as she led the Admiral to another section. "Wait until you see what we've done with their shield technology." On the Nareni homeworld, Captain Frank Delgado stood beside his ship, the first human vessel to visit this distant solar system. A crowd of curious Nareni citizens had gathered to see the humans. "They're shorter than I expected," one alien child said to its parent. Delgado smiled at the translator's rendering. His crew of 20 humans worked alongside Narani engineers, teaching them combat maneuvers that the peaceful species had never needed before. "Your ships are beautiful," Delgado told his Narani counterpart, "but too predictable in movement. An Exorian gunner can calculate your path too easily." The Narani captain, Mellerin, tilted her head. "Show us how you would approach." Delgado used a holographic projector to demonstrate the randomized evasion patterns Earth ships had developed. "We call this controlled chaos," he explained. "No two maneuvers exactly the same, making it impossible to predict where we'll be next." Mellerin's large eyes widened. "This is why you defeated ships twice your size. You fight like no species the Conclave has encountered." "Necessity," Delgado said simply. "On Earth, warfare evolved over thousands of years against other humans. We had to become unpredictable to survive each other." In her lab on Mars, Dr. Lisa Warren finished compiling data from experiments combining human and alien technologies. The results exceeded even her optimistic predictions. "Send this to Admiral Miller immediately," she told her team. "The shield modifications work at 300% above projected capacity." Her assistant looked up in amazement. The Exorians won't be able to penetrate these defenses. Not with their current weapons, Warren agreed. And by the time they develop new ones, we'll have improved again. On Echo 7, Daniel Rivera hosted representatives from 7 now allied species. The group watched as mixed crews of humans and aliens trained together in space exercises. Humans learn so quickly, said the Skith ambassador. Your adaptability is remarkable, and your technological creativity is unlike anything in Conclave records, added the Lumen representative. You see possibilities where we saw only established limits. Rivera nodded. For thousands of years, humans fought and cooperated with each other. We learned to recognize patterns quickly, adapt to new situations, and overcome seemingly impossible odds. He gestured to the view screen showing Earth. Our planet's history was often violent, but it prepared us for this moment. The alien representatives looked at each other, a new understanding dawning. They hadn't allied themselves with a primitive species needing protection. They had found the one civilization capable of challenging the Conclave's dominance. 3 months after Earth's first battle with the Conclave, William Carter stood on the observation deck of Echo 7, watching as the Allied fleet assembled. Ships from 7 different species formed an impressive array against the backdrop of stars. It's time, Admiral Miller said, joining him at the viewport. The Conclave reinforcements will arrive in 2 days. Carter nodded. Then we shouldn't wait for them to come to us. Are you sure about this plan? Miller asked. It's risky. Diplomacy always is, Carter replied with a small smile. But the Exorians understand only strength. We need to show them ours. The massive Conclave station hung in space like a metal star, its many arms extending outward from a central hub. Inside the Grand Council chamber, High Chancellor Vrex addressed representatives from over 30 species. The human rebellion will be crushed, he declared. Our reinforcement fleet carries enough firepower to turn their planet to ash. The chamber doors suddenly slid open. A junior officer rushed in, his skin pale with alarm. High Chancellor, unidentified ships have entered the system. Vrex's 4 eyes blinked in confusion. Impossible. The reinforcements are not due for 2 days. Not our ships, the officer said. It's the humans. And they're not alone. Carter led the human delegation through the Conclave station corridors, flanked by representatives from their allied species. Security guards watched nervously, weapons ready but not raised. They're frightened, Rivera whispered to Carter. They never expected us to come here. Carter nodded slightly. That's exactly why this will work. The massive doors to the council chamber opened, revealing hundreds of alien representatives seated in ascending rings around a central speaking area. Many gasped at the sight of humans walking freely into their sacred chamber. High Chancellor Vrex stood at the center, his blue-gray skin darkened with rage. How dare you enter this chamber? You are not recognized by the Conclave. Carter walked calmly to the speaking position. We come with recognition from 7 Conclave member species who have formed an alliance with Earth. Murmurs spread through the chamber as Carter gestured to his companions. Representatives from the Narration, Lumen, Skith, and other allied species. We come not to threaten, Carter continued, his voice amplified throughout the chamber, but to propose a different path forward. He activated a holographic display showing a new document, sleek and simple compared to the complex Conclave integration protocols. These are the Sol Accords, Carter announced, a framework for relations between species based on mutual respect and true equality. In a shadowy corridor near the council chamber, 3 Exorian assassins moved silently toward an access panel. Their mission: cut power to the chamber's security systems, allowing a hidden weapon to eliminate the human delegation. 30 seconds until we're in position, the lead assassin whispered into his communicator. I wouldn't count on that, said a human voice behind them. The Exorians spun around to find Security Chief Kyle Hernandez blocking their path, along with 2 Skith warriors. Did you really think we wouldn't anticipate this? Hernandez asked, his weapon aimed steadily. Your people always follow the same playbook. Back in the council chamber, Carter continued presenting the Sol Accords while Vrex grew increasingly agitated. The fundamental flaw in the conclave system, Carter explained, is that it was designed for control, not cooperation. The Sol Accords replace subordination with partnership. Enough of this nonsense. Vrex shouted. Guards, remove these intruders. No guards moved. Instead, a new holographic display appeared, showing the Axorian assassination team being captured. High Chancellor, said the Nirani representative, stepping forward, perhaps you should explain why Axorian assassins were attempting to sabotage this meeting. The chamber erupted in shouts and questions. Many council members rose to their feet, demanding answers. Carter raised his hands for quiet. We anticipated this reaction. That's why we're broadcasting these proceedings to every conclave world. On view screens throughout conclave space, billions of beings watched as centuries of Axorian manipulation were exposed. Carter's calm voice reached across light years, describing a new vision for galactic relations. The choice is simple, he concluded. Continue under a system of domination, or join us in building something better, a true community of equals among the stars. As the broadcast continued, Vrex realized he was losing control not just of the meeting, but of the conclave itself. 6 months after Carter's dramatic presentation to the Conclave Council, the galaxy had changed forever. On a newly constructed space station orbiting a neutral star system, representatives from 42 species gathered for the founding ceremony of the Interstellar Cooperative Alliance. The station, named Unity, featured architecture from all member species, a physical symbol of their new relationship. In the central chamber, William Carter stood beside Admiral Miller, watching as former enemies became partners. I still can't believe we're here, Miller said quietly. A year ago, we didn't even know aliens existed. Carter smiled. And now we're helping build a new galactic community. The chamber quieted as Carter walked to the central podium. Before him sat delegates from across the galaxy, including many former conclave members who had broken away to join the new alliance. Today marks not an ending, but a beginning, Carter began. For too long, the galaxy operated under the principle that power gives right. Today, we establish something different, a community where each civilization, regardless of age or technology, has equal voice and equal rights. In another section of the station, High Chancellor Vrex sat in a secure room, 4 arms bound as he awaited trial. The evidence against him had been overwhelming. Centuries of manipulating species into submission, assassinations of those who resisted, and falsification of historical records. Through a view screen, he watched Carter's speech, his blue-gray skin pale with defeat. I still don't understand, he told his guards. How did primitives who had barely reached their own moon defeat the system we perfected over millennia? One guard, a young Nirani, looked at him with something like pity. Because you never understood the difference between submission and cooperation. Humans taught us that difference. On Earth, celebrations filled every city as people watched the ceremony broadcast from Unity Station. In her laboratory, Dr. Lisa Warren and her team of human and alien scientists prepared to unveil their latest creation, a new propulsion system that would allow travel to previously unreachable areas of the galaxy. The committee has approved our expedition, Warren told her colleagues. We leave next month to explore the Perseus Arm. Her Lumen assistant's crystalline form glittered with excitement. No conclave ship ever ventured that far. The possibilities for discovery are endless. Warren nodded. That's what humans do best, explore the unknown. In the training center on Unity Station, Captain Frank Delgado watched as mixed crews of humans and aliens ran combat simulations. What had begun as necessity during the conflict had evolved into something remarkable. Teams that combined the unique strengths of each species. Your reflexes are improving, Delgado told the skiff pilot. But remember to trust your instincts more. Don't always follow the standard pattern. The reptilian alien nodded. It's difficult to break centuries of conditioning, but we're learning. That's all anyone can ask, Delgado replied with a smile. Back in the main chamber, Carter concluded his address as the official charter of the Alliance was displayed. "We came to the stars not knowing what we would find," he said. "We discovered both threat and opportunity. But most importantly, we found that the qualities that define humanity, our adaptability, our determination, our willingness to stand against overwhelming odds, are the same qualities needed to build a better galaxy." He looked around at the assembled delegates. "Today we pledge not to conquer or submit, but to stand as equals, not to dominate, but to cooperate, not to isolate, but to connect across the vast distances between our worlds." The chamber erupted in applause as Carter signed the charter on behalf of Earth. One by one, representatives from each species added their signatures, formalizing the greatest diplomatic achievement in galactic history. As the ceremony concluded, Carter gazed out a viewport at the stars. Somewhere out there, other civilizations waited to be discovered. Some might be friends, others adversaries. But whatever humanity found in the depths of space, they would face it the same way they had faced the Conclave, with courage, ingenuity, and an unwavering belief in their right to forge their own destiny among the stars.